Today, we're primarily celebrating the achievements of our students. It's appropriate, therefore, that a student voice should be heard to mark this significant occasion. So I'm delighted to invite Thomas Jenkins, who graduated with a degree of Master of Professional Engineering with distinction, to give a valedictory address on behalf of today's graduates.
Good morning, friends, family, and faculty. To the Pro-Chancellor, Deputy Vice-Chancellor, members of Senate, esteemed staff, delighted guests, and enthusiastic students alike. We're here today to celebrate the accomplishments of the many young men and women that sit before us. So please join me in congratulating them. The last time we were in this hall, things may have been very different. Perhaps it was one of your last exams with your head down, pen gripped tightly and teeth clenched, trying to conquer fatigue after a night of Red Bulls and cramming. But my friends, we did it. We made it to the other side. A task that may have seemed so daunting that this result sitting here today may have been almost unfathomable. Now, I'm sure you've heard the story of that young kid coming to university on day one, with very little knowledge of how to get through and very few friends in the same boat. I'm not going to give you that same old generic story. Instead, I'm going to share some of the brightest and most profound learning experiences that myself, some of my many friends here at UWA, have experienced in the past 5 or so years. Now, the first lesson is the importance of commitment. That is the ability to devote oneself unreservedly towards a particular task. Commitment means willing to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes. No excuses, no ifs, no buts, no maybes, simply, I will. Perhaps an appropriate example of commitment comes from one of my most enduring mentors. This person came from very humble beginnings. Her father was a farmer and war veteran and toiled tirelessly to feed his 10 children. Whilst most of the children went to high school, she was told that she had to stay home, manage the vegetable garden to feed the rest. She was told that she would never really amount to very much, and that the best thing that she could hope for was to marry someone to look after them. Now, despite these hardships, despite the setbacks that she had, when she was 20 years old as well, she had actually lost 2 close beloved brothers. One to cancer, one to a car accident. But she continued to push forwards. She learnt on her own, and eventually she made it to university, and she gained tertiary qualifications. And now she is happy, she's prosperous, and she's successful. So just like this woman, you have worked for years and years. You've worked your butt off to get this higher education today. An absolute privilege. So continue to commit to yourself, because this is just one milestone in a very long list of future successes. Now, this leads to my second lesson. The price to success is paid in advance. As Earl Nightingale once wrote, you cannot say to the fire, "First give me the flame and I'll show you the fuel." It doesn't work like that. In order to succeed, you must be willing to learn, to practice, to fail, to get up and learn again and have another go. It's imperative that you have another go. I remember going through this process with one of my friends who's graduating today, Jade Falani Brennan. And when it came to study, we would leave absolutely no stone unturned. But when we were doing our mock exams and our practice tests, we'd actually fail the first time. We would sometimes fail these practice runs 2, 3, 4 times until we uncovered why. What was the knowledge gap, or what was holding us back psychologically to perform? Once we identified that, we narrowed it down. And after hours of hard work, we succeeded when it mattered most. So just know that success is often a result of the failures that you overcome. And you must be willing, in your new graduate roles, in your relationships, in everything you do, to burst your bubble of comfort to get that level of success that you desire. Now, those first 2 lessons have been essential for my development over the years, but they are worthless lessons if it's not for lesson 3. Believe in yourself. Most of us, at some point in our life, have had some event, circumstance that has shattered our self-belief. In primary school, I sat in class with challenged children and asked to describe pictures of teacups and apples, something that made me feel very unintelligent most of my life. I fractured my back a couple of times growing up, which inhibited my sporting ambitions. But my self-belief was most challenged when I was diagnosed with heart disease at 16 years old. I was told that my heart is consistently and continuously under increased stress 24 hours a day, and that it's only 2/3 as efficient as a regular, healthy beating heart. Now, instead of retreating back to a space of emotional safety, I pressed forward, and like many others, recognized those feelings of discomfort and dissatisfaction, and noted that they do not have the power to stop me. And they definitely do not have the power to stop any of you. So you do not have to be born smart. You do not have to be genetically gifted. But it is your responsibility to make the decision to believe in yourself, to create your life, and to be the person that you want to be. But unfortunately, most of us can't do it alone. And this leads to the 4th and final lesson. Show gratitude to those who have helped us. I know for me, it was the endless love and commitment that my mother showed me growing up, and the instillment of my father's priceless values. So I ask you to thank those who encouraged you to take the leap of faith, to gain this education, to go through the struggles, and to finish here today. Thank your parents and your guardians who conditioned you to success. Thank your lecturers and your supervisors who sparked your inquisitions. And thank your friends, your cohort who shared your failures and shared your triumphs, like today. For now, we owe it to future generations to be this encouragement. Not only to encourage others to try and solve some of humanity's greatest problems, not only to try and encourage others to challenge themselves beyond belief, but to encourage others to enhance and sustain this world that we will one day leave behind to our children and those who come after. Thank you.